Just following on from Harry, really, you speak so well about him and his importance. A few spoke to him in his own last night, and he was speaking with such an authority as sort of trying to galvanise the group. How important is he as a character within the dressing room to kind of do that as a leader, but also to kind of help you get that group together again to finish the season well?
Yeah, I mean, he's our best player. I don't think I'm out of order saying that, but he is our best player, and he's a leader. He's a leader in many different ways. He's a technical leader, but he's a leader in terms of his mannerisms, how he carries himself, the example that he sets, and sometimes we don't probably speak about that enough because he's not the most loudest and outspoken person, but we know what type of leader we've got, we know what type of character we've got, and when you put in performances like he did last night that can influence games, that's the best type of leader that you can get.
He's obviously not Tottenham captain, but sort of but England captain, and I guess through doing that you get a lot of experience and a lot of kind of knowledge and qualities to bring.
Yeah, it's a massive responsibility to have that armband for the country that we live in. It's huge. But listen, Harry had the armband on last night, but I want to encourage many of the other players to be leaders as well, because it's not only one, it's a collective, and the more characters we can get with that personality to push each other and demand from each other, the better.
I was also speaking last night about there maybe being some frustrations building up within the squad since the Southampton game and dropping those 2 points and the goals as well. Is that maybe something you felt released this week? Is it feeling slightly different?
No, I wouldn't say so. I mean, when you concede late goals and drop 2 points, it's going to be frustrating against any opposition. That's just football. Yeah, honestly, the message, the constant message has been the last 3 or 4 days to be a group, to be together, to want to work for each other, and then the results will take care of themselves ultimately. We've had no time to work at all from a tactical point of view. There's just been such a quick turnaround. So that togetherness and that belief in each other is key, especially for Sunday. And then we have a clear week next week where we can get into them and try and give some information and maybe change some things. But at the moment, the most important thing is to be together.
You spoke on Wednesday about feeling ready for this. You just said you never had any doubt in your own ability. Did last night sort of confirm what you felt, give you a real taste for wanting to be a manager more permanently?
No, I mean, for me, I understand the situation I'm in, and of course I feel confident. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here. But at the same time, I realise there's 5 games for this club, and I probably said it 2 years ago as well. The focus is and will always be what's best for this club. That's my priority, and at the moment, trying to create a togetherness and everyone to feel like we're together, not only inside these walls but also outside as well. That's probably the most important thing, because at times this season that's probably not been the case, and when that's not the case, I think that can affect results on the football pitch, and we've probably seen that at times this year.
And for you personally, did it feel any difference 2 years ago with a bit more experience as a coach?
Well, first of all, the fans were in the stadium. It was during COVID last time. I think we only had 1 game where there was limited capacity, so that was different. But for the last 18 months, 2 years, I've been involved on the bench and involved in those type of arenas. So I've played as well. I understand what it's like. And as soon as that game starts, it's a football match. Yeah, it's quite simple, to be honest.
Thanks, Joe. Okay, Tom, and then finish with George, please.
Ryan, why do you think Harry doesn't get the praise he kind of deserves? It's kind of underappreciated. Why do you think that?
It's probably natural. I think we probably say that about all our great players. Maybe in 10 years we'll look back and we'll say what a great player he really was, and we probably should have celebrated him more while we was enjoying him, watching him play football. I've always been quite consistent in that because I played with him and I see it and I felt what type of player he was. But at the same time, as a fan of football, it's hard not to love and appreciate the type of player that he is.
He was quite
I'm not sure. I can't really answer that question, but in terms of what you'd like to see in any player coming through a system, coming through an academy, representing the club they love, consistently putting in top performances, and also as well, and probably don't get spoken about enough off the pitch. We're talking about someone that has acted in the right way for over a decade now. There's been no problems, no negativity in terms of any scandals. That says a lot for me. That says a lot. Listen, I know Harry very well. I know his family very well as well, and he's an example of what I'd want any young kid to look up to.
That's actually about the kind of attacking style here at the club, which has been a big issue in the last couple of years. The performance last night, lots of chances, it was an attacking team, they were attacking subs. I mean, do you think is that an important thing here? Or do you think it's also a bit of a distraction sometimes when results go badly, or is that a fundamental kind of part of the DNA of this club?
Yeah, honestly, I think every football club has its history, has its DNA, and I think it's important to tap into that because as fans, as a fan of the football club, I remember going to the lane when I was younger, and of course some people work all week to go and watch their team and be excited, and we want to give the fans that. I felt like in the game last night, and I hope that they went home and felt a team that were working for the badge, working for each other, because I certainly felt the fans with us last night from minute one, and that's a big thing for any football club. As fans, you pay money, you go and watch your team, and you want to feel pride in watching them, and yeah, I felt like last night we give them that.
George?
Hi, Ryan. On a similar theme, there was a period where Spurs and Liverpool sort of really neck and neck in sort of 2016, 2019. Both played quite similar football. It felt like sort of on the front foot, pressing, and wave after wave of attack. When you think of Spurs at their best, is that the kind of football you sort of picture Spurs playing?
Oh, honestly, at the moment we've got personnel and players that we need to try and get the best out of. There's no point playing a system or a style of football that don't suit the personnel on the football pitch, because ultimately you're setting them up to foul. Obviously there needs to be an alignment between the style of play and the approach you want to take, and also the tools you have as well. So we're aware of that in this moment of time, but probably most importantly the intent is key, regardless of what the formation is. The togetherness, the aggressiveness, and the will to work for each other is probably the most important thing in all the top teams.
And then just with Sonny scored again last night, that's 4 home games in a row now he's scored. Does it kind of feel like he's over that first half of the season and he's getting closer to his best?
Yeah, I think Son is at his best when he's attacking the line. He's attacking space, and we see last night that the goal come from that sort of combination with him and Harry, where Harry's on the ball and Sonny comes alive. Sonny's had many chances this season, and he probably could have ended up with 20, 25 goals at this stage of the season if he'd have been a bit more clinical or had a bit more luck at times. So the most pleasing thing for me throughout this season, yes, Sonny's been disappointed. He hasn't scored more goals, but ultimately he's always got in the positions. He's continued making the runs, and when you're an attacking player, that's key, because at some point your luck will change, your goal will go in, and you'll find a rhythm and start scoring again. So hopefully Sonny will be key for us in the next 5 games.
There's been a lot of talk about Harry's future, obviously, but I mean, Sonny's 30s, he's got 2 years left. Do you feel like he's got plenty of years left in the Premier League at Spurs at sort of the highest level, and not sort of winding down?
No, I think, listen, Sonny's a robust player. He plays pretty much week in, week out, most seasons. We appreciate him. We value him as a player. He's a team player, which first and foremost is the most important thing. Yeah, but honestly, I can't really speak about 1, 2, 3 years' time, because right now our focus has to be on finish this season as well as possible, and go into the summer and see what happens.
But you sort of think the way he kind of looks after himself sort of off the pitch as well, that should help him sort of have the longevity that sort of some attacking players don't have.
Yeah, I think naturally as years go by and research, sports science, nutrition gets better, players probably can prolong their career at the highest level, and we are seeing that with players. Some players are playing till they're 35, 36, 37, still at the highest level, and hopefully some of our top players can do that.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
Cheers.